I looked in open records for the different counties, metro Atlanta counties, let me be clear, metro Atlanta counties. And I looked under her, and I found where they had filed for divorce in a metro Atlanta county. So when he said that he filed for divorce in San Diego and that he was married in San Diego, I was able to find, no, according to the state of Georgia, you were married here. You were divorced here.
It's so messy.
I looked under her name, found a record for divorce, and it did show his name. So now I clearly see on my computer that there is a metro Atlanta County Court that has a divorce record in the state of Georgia between him and his ex-wife. So I did what any rational person would do. Because this is still kind of COVID time. Well, not really. It had nothing to do with COVID. Let me take that back. Because of the parameters of the court, you can only do the open records request in person. Okay. I did what anybody would do. I told my boss I had to go. I grabbed my purse, grabbed my keys, and I drove to the court to do the open records request in person. The open records request was for the divorce documents. Go back to the story in the series, and remember I did a background on the ex-wife. I told you all exactly what was told to me. He met her in California, he married her in California, he divorced her in California because she cheated on him. He filed for divorce. She tried to get spousal support. It was going to be a little ugly. He was helping her with the kids. That was the story that was told to me. So went to the court, filled out the paperwork, got the open records request for the divorce decree, for the divorce records. First thing I see, he didn't file, she did. Second thing I see, they didn't make it more than 6 months. The date of marriage, I see the date of dissolution, 6 months. Third thing I see, he was served.
All right, I'm doing a little at-home silk press while I listen to this Ressa Tessa.
He was living in
it is very good.
And nothing, California was never mentioned. Fourth thing I see, he filed what is called a pauper affidavit. If you don't know what that is, I'm going to do my best to explain it real quick. Basically,
right now I'm on part 27.
Saying that he is so poor, he could not afford the fees to pay for a divorce. He couldn't afford a filing fee. He couldn't afford a service fee. That is what a pauper affidavit is for. All of this is in the divorce documents. She had filed. She said it was irreconcilable differences. She was not requesting any money whatsoever.
This blow spray smells so good.
Signed a pauper affidavit. He was served in Georgia at his previous employment. According to the divorce documents, he was served at like a grocery store. That is what was listed as his employer. And it had a date.
He worked at the grocery store?
So I see all of this in one day. I also see where
these men be lying. He worked at the grocery store.
Her name, her address.
You're kidding me.
And her phone number. So I did what any rational person would do. I wrote down the phone number.
Period.
There was a 50-50 chance that...
Okay, I gotta pause it while I blow dry.
She could be like me. I'm one of those people.
Oh, blow dry my hair always kill my arms. That's why we work out. That's why we work out. Okay. Right now I'm on part 27 of the Ressa Tessa. I'm gonna get right back to it. And then once I finish blow drying, we won't have any more interruptions. Hopefully. What part are y'all on if you're watching it? If you watched it? I feel like a lot of people finished it really quick, which I don't know, maybe I'm watching it really slow, but I only have so much time today. Okay.
Honey, you can sneeze at a 27-degree angle. I will change my number so quick. You ain't even know what hit you. You can talk to me at 5 o'clock, and at 5:05, my number has been changed. So she could have been like me, and the number is not even active. Or she could be like some people I know who have kept their numbers since kindergarten.
Yeah, I have the same number. I probably should change it.
Left the court, and I immediately went back to work. And the same friend who helped me when I had my miscarriage, I told her, I was like, I got this phone number. This is the ex-wife. She was like, girl, you better call. You better call and find out from her. Because I think she said to me, can't nobody tell you what is going on quite like the ex-wife. So, part 28 is the phone call that I had with the ex-wife.
Oh, child. I didn't think the ex-wife was real. I didn't think he would actually have been married.
I got the phone number, went back to work.
It's crazy. I'm glad she investigated, honestly.
You can use my phone, but call her. So I called her. She answered. I'm gonna use aliases. And the conversation went like this. May I please speak with Barbara? This is Barbara. Barbara, this is Shirley. Shirley who? This is Shirley Jones. I am the wife.
What's her real name? It ain't Ressa?
Silence. Then she starts laughing. And she said to me, and I quote, if you were calling me, then I know it's bad. And
dang, I have some blow dry in my hair. Okay.
Trying to bother you.
Let's pause. So we can blow dry. Justin. Hey, night shift. That's so crazy. Y'all both joined at the same time, just in the night shift. Oh man, this is a workout. I'm trying to hurry up so we can get back to it. I'm just doing my hair and I'm listening to this Ressa Tessa series, I guess is what you can call it. The Ressa Tessa series on TikTok. I'm trying to get through it. Montez is at work. How are you? What are you doing? Are you working today? I'm gonna break it up because I feel like I'm not getting the back. That's real. It's definitely a lot to get through. I saw a lot of people like me. I was watching it yesterday while I was cleaning. Some people are watching it at work. Boy, you should have been finished that. You need to finish that like this month. If it's the project I'm thinking you're talking about. I'm almost done with this section, then we're gonna get back into it. I get that. It's just you've been working on it for so long. No? I'm just ready to see the next thing. That's my little brother, y'all, if you're curious who I'm talking to. He's been working on this project since last year. I'm like, come on, let's move on to the next project. Again.
I'm not trying to disrupt your life. I said I am literally coming to you
Woman to woman.
On some woman to woman.
I knew she was gonna say that.
I said because you were
okay, good. I can't wait to see it.
Person who can help. she listened. She was gracious, and she said, what is it that she needs to know? What is it that you want to know? And I said, I understand that you and my husband.
Let's see. I don't know.
And she immediately said, what? No, we don't.
Wait, what'd she say?
And I said, communicate. And she immediately said, what? No.
He's such a liar. He lied about everything.
Okay.
Okay, I need a little break.
She said, one thing you need to know about Legion. She said, whatever he tells you, it is a lie. And she said, let's go back to part 1. I told you guys that when he introduced himself and when we met, we actually had matched on 2 different sites. And he was under 2 different names. So
that's just what she's calling him, Legion. But technically that's not his. She's not telling us his real name. But somebody found him, I saw on TikTok.
So for example.
See, you're getting into it.
He had a profile under Matthew, and then he had a profile under Matt. I would have known him as Matt. So she said to me, she was like, I don't even know who Matt is. She was like, that's not even his name.
Girl.
And so I knew what his actual government name is. She was like, no one calls him Matt. She was like, that must be his new personality. Or she was cracking a joke, but she was like,
I saw a lot of people say they said Legion's like Mark 5. So Legion of Demons.
Said, what was your experience?
I think that's why she called him that. Because he got some demons.
I can tell you the story he told me. And she stopped me right there. She said, whatever he told you was a lie. She said, let me guess. He told you I cheated on him.
He did.
Guess. He told you that I wanted money from him.
He did.
And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, that's a complete lie. So we had a conversation where she told me how they met. They didn't meet online or anything. I said, well, were you guys ever in California? She said, no.
Oh my God, he lied about everything.
I'd never been past the East Coast.
This man lied about everything. He said he lived in California for like years.
So you guys have always been in Georgia. And she said, yeah. She's like, we got married in Georgia.
Atlanta man.
And that's when she asked me, how did you even get my number? She said, because I want nothing to do with him. So how did you get my number? I said, I'm gonna tell you the truth. It ain't gonna make me look good. I told her, I said, this is what happened. And this is what led to me doing research.
Okay, I gotta pause it, y'all.
I got your number.
Woo! It's getting juicy. It's crazy how effortlessly people can lie. I'm on part 28. If you want to run and go watch part 28 while I'm doing this. I know, I don't have Netflix anywhere either, and I want to watch Love is Blind. Netflix honestly sucks, and I refuse to pay for Netflix. This is and the new Avatar is about to come out, so I'm like, I need Netflix. I need them to bring it back. That's what Carrie was telling me, that it still works on your phone. I have to figure it out because I need Netflix. Oh, I can airplay it. I should just FaceTime you, Justin. Okay. I gotta blow dry everything now, and then no more interruptions. We can finish it. And then I have a workout class at 3. I don't know why I do this to myself. Like, I will do my hair before I have these workout classes. I think I do it because, like, I literally don't leave the house to do anything. Like, going to these workout classes is when I leave my house. And so I want to feel cute for them. But I end up sweating my hair out. So it's kind of like not worth it. Okay. It's hot in here now because of that blow dryer. All right, I'm turning it back on.
And she laughed. She was like, wow. She was like, normally I would be freaked out. She said, but under the circumstances, she was like, wow, okay. She said, yeah, if you're calling me, then it must have gotten pretty bad. She said, so what did he promise you?
Come on, Inches.
And we talked for about 35 minutes. She asked me in that phone call, she said, look, I want nothing to do with him. I have not spoken to him since our divorce was finalized. She said, so I would just appreciate if you keep me out of whatever's going on with y'all. And I told her, I said, I give you my word, I will never tell him I spoke to you. I said, I give you my word.
Well, now he gonna know.
I said, this conversation is for me. It is not for me to use in any sort of legal question method. This is for me. And I said, I don't plan to call you again. I don't plan to be a disruption in your life. I just needed to know how bad is it.
I use TurboTax, so I just do it myself, and then TurboTax takes a fee out of the amount you get back.
She said, if it's anything like what it was for me, it's bad. So we talked a little bit more. She was.
I think last year was like $100 something. Wasn't that bad?
Blame yourself. She said, I went through that and I had blamed myself. She was like, this is not on us.
It's pretty easy to do it on TurboTax.
She was like, he is a master liar. A master manipulator.
He is a liar. He is a freaking. It's just the lie, like the how I can't remember a lie like that.
We talked about there's an ex-girlfriend that shares the same name as me. She and I talked about her. She said the reason why they broke up because the ex-girlfriend, I didn't know this, the ex-girlfriend had reached out to her about 6 months before he met me. And so
if you need any help doing your taxes, Justin, I'm happy to help you.
Lived in Douglasville.
Okay. Time to straighten.
On Legion's driver's license, he had a driver's license with the Douglasville address. What he told me was that it was the address that his sister, because remember I told you his sister Shantae lives in Douglasville. She's a nurse, married with 2 kids.
Actually, put this
So
oil
he
in
told
my
me
hair.
that the address on his license, it was his driver's license.
I'm probably gonna do mine this week.
The ex-wife is telling me, no, that's the address for the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend. He had moved in with her, and he created this whole narrative with her. She found out that he was lying, and she kicked him out. And so, I guess after she kicked him out, she then reached out to the ex-wife, kind of the way I did for confirmation. And so the ex-wife was just telling me, whatever that man has told you, it is a lie.
Damn. As long as you have your W-2s, you're fine.
I got too bad. She said, because once I knew he was lying, I was out. She was like, because he's never going to change. And so, again, conversation went on and on. And so finally, we were getting ready to get off the phone. And before we got off the phone, I said to her, I said, if everything is a lie, I said, I have one question for you. And she said, sure. I said, how is your daughter?
He did not lie about the daughter. He did not lie about the daughter. He did not.
I said, how is your daughter?
Y'all.
Let's start coming up.
No! He lied about her dead daughter.
What the fuck did I marry? So I asked
This
her,
man is crazy. Lock this man up.
she said, my daughter's fine.
He's a menace to society.
And I said, okay. She said, what did he say about my daughter? And I will be honest with y'all, I didn't have the heart to tell her. So what I said instead was, oh, no, with everything with COVID, I think I mentioned that she might have had COVID or was exposed to it. I downplayed it. I wasn't going to tell that woman.
That's crazy. Don't put death on no kid like that.
So
that man is crazy.
She did. I said, obviously, I'm glad to hear that kids are fine. She said, look.
Yes.
What do you say?
He was like, he acted like he was sick, and he was like down and out for weeks because he said she died.
She said, this is what he does. She said, you're not the first. You're not going to be the last. She said he did it to me. She was very, very encouraging, because she was just like, you do not blame yourself. She
That's
said,
good.
We both ignored red flags, but it is not your fault. She said, this is on him. And so we, once again, I thanked her for her time, got off the phone. I took the long way home that night.
She loved to drive. I do not like to drive like that.
I had to figure something out. I had to figure some things out. So I
kick him out.
What does that mean? It means that I probably could have taken 75 to 285, but I probably took 20 to 75 to 285 to 675, kind of like I just took a long way home. A couple of days later, because I really, my mind was spinning.
I think I put too much oil on it.
Later, at this point, I'm turning into the FBI, CIA, and Homeland Security all
period.
Literally. I'm trying to find everything. And he's carrying on his business as usual. Nothing changed with him. He had no idea that I had spoken to the ex-wife. He had no idea I had gone to the court and saw his divorce documents. He had no idea. So a couple of days later, I decided to look up his mother's obituary. Look up the mother's obituary. And down at the bottom, where it talks about, she's preceded in death by, and it lists all the people, the family members that died before. And then it says, leaving behind to cherish her memory. It lists the husband, his dad, her husband, excuse me. Let me start over. It lists her husband, which is Legion's dad. It lists Legion's brother that lives in Philly and his wife, because again, this is a 2000, she passed away in 2015. So it lists Legion, the brother in Philly, and his wife and daughter, her granddaughter. It lists Legion and his wife, I think it was like Latoya or Le something. Le something. It did not list the ex-wife I just spoke to. And it clearly said,
wait, so he had another wife?
Legion, his wife, Latoya. Then it listed the brother in Nashville, his wife, Jane, or whatever. So
Man's been married 3 times?
I was thinking immediately. Number one, who is Latoya?
Who is Latoya?
Never heard that name before. Never heard that name before. So I was thinking, who was Latoya? And then number two, where are the 2 sisters? Shantae and Kim. Shantae lives in Douglasville, married with 2 kids. Kim lives in Augusta, and I believe he told me she worked at like Procter and Gamble. So why aren't they listed on here? Because apparently, go back to the video. I posted it on there. I gave y'all background on the family. He apparently was one of 5 through both parents. Brother in Philly, older brother, younger brother in Nashville, an older sister in Douglasville, and a baby sister in Augusta. So why is it on his mother's obituary there's only 3?
I think this oil I think is a little too heavy for my hair.
Where are the 2 sisters? So I'm even more like, what in the hell is going on? And then
It's kind of oily.
Why wouldn't they list Shantae? Like, they talk all the time, so I know that they're close because he talks to Shantae all the time. So I really was confused. Again, keep in mind, I'm trying to give y'all insight into how I was thinking May of 2021, because I still didn't find out a lot of stuff at that time. I found out enough to figure out, okay, it's not a question of if he's lying. That was over. It's not a question of if he's lying. The question now is becoming, what else is he lying about? So we had the phone call with the ex-wife. Now I see in the obituary that apparently there's another wife. I know on our marriage certificate, it only states he had one previous marriage. I had 0, he had 1. So this is how I'm thinking in my head, which is, okay, what am I missing here? I know we've established that he's lying, but who the fuck is Latoya? Like, I'm really trying to understand who is Latoya.
Me too.
And again, he's hobbling around the house, limping, and I'm in our in the bedroom. I could not get on Google fast enough to try to figure some stuff out. So, see the mom's obituary, study it, and at this point, I'm now trying to figure out, okay, what's the game plan? What is the game plan? And that's where we are about to get into the next part.
Part 30.
Part 30 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry? So I'm going to use this as a clarification video. So we're going to use part 30 as a start. Let's clarify some things. I've done it before on a previous set of videos, so I think it's just important to do that so that way I can try to address
Let's go. I'm dying in here. It's hot.
Both.
Ew.
Let me clarify something. Number one, it is important to remember that I am telling this entire story of how I met, dated, married and divorced, pathologically lying ex-husband. I am going in chronological order of events. So what that means is that, ma'am, sir, whoever you are, if you were coming in at part 30, but you have not seen part 11, some stuff is not going to make sense. I know. It is a long playlist. And don't worry about watching the video as soon as it comes out, because everything, I'm trying to do this responsibly, of telling the story in the order of which things happen. So I say that to say, please, if you're able to, start at the introduction disclaimer video. Start with part 1 and then just watch each video, because a lot of the questions people are having that I'm seeing in the comments,
she done already answered.
And I say this respectfully, it's just because you did not go to the other videos and watch them in order. That's just the first thing I want to say. It is important that I get this story out, but that it's done, like I said, responsibly. To me, responsibly is being honest, even if it makes me look bad, but then also trying to be clear and not ramble off. So I'm trying to take the time to... She's
taking us on a journey, Justin. This is called storytelling. She's taking us on a journey.
So many parts. We're not even to the part of the divorce yet.
You try to skip to the end. This is like, think of this as a manga, okay? She's basically, this is a manga. This is an anime.
My family and my friends did not
and you know anime be long as hell.
What was going on between Legion and I. They did not know. My family only knew we've met this guy. He's dating our daughter, our niece, our cousin, our granddaughter. He seems to be a really nice guy. He seems to really love her. From what he has told us, he's done well for himself. He played football. And he has worked at this company.
Oh yeah, that's the thing too. He said he played arena football. I don't know what arena football is.
From what we understand, he just moved here from California. That is what they knew. They did not know about...
I've yet to start One Piece because it's so long.
In my head, they did not know what's going on.
Montez is watching Sword Art Online right now.
I did not want to look stupid. I'm fully aware that when I tell this story, I look stupid. I'm aware, and I made my peace with that. But at the time, I did not want to look stupid. So it was important to me to put on everything's great. We're really happy.
I'm gonna pass for it. This one, she's just clearing up some stuff, so I'm gonna go past that.
Okay, part 30.
We're gonna skip to 31.
31. Who the fuck did I marry?
We don't need to hear all the backstory again.
I found his mother's obituary online. It then told me it listed his brother.
Hey Brandon, he came back.
And his wife.
I took a long break.
Legion, and then it said his wife. I took the name from the obituary and I did a Metro Atlanta court search with that name. I found a divorce.
Let me get my ends trimmed.
I found a divorce record with Legion and the same name that was in the obituary. In that divorce record, it looks like he's the one that filed for divorce. This would have been around 2016. This was after the mother's death. He filed for divorce. She was the respondent. I think that's the correct terminology. Both had a temporary protection order against each other. He had one against her. She had one against him. The divorce ended up getting granted, finalized. Then it looks like he went on his way. In the course of the search for her name, I discovered that at one point in time, the two of them had lived in Rhode Island. So that's the connection with Rhode Island, because for the longest time I could not figure out who lived in Rhode Island. That's where that came from. The two of them, he and this woman, lived in Rhode Island several years prior, or a few years prior. I could not find the obituary for his dad. I searched and I searched. I could not find the obituary for his father.
He's still alive.
For whatever reason, I knew his grandmother's name. I just randomly decided to do a Google search of the grandmother's name. Initially, nothing came up because I was looking for the grandmother's name in Philly. Nothing came up. I looked for the grandmother's name down here in Georgia. Found a record, but it was not. It wasn't quite clear. What was clear was that she had died several years prior. So what I found was a different website where it was like a legacy.com type thing. So I believe legacy.com holds old obituaries. Did a search for her name, found a match. That is when I discovered that she actually had passed away in July of 2008. Read the caption of the obituary and verified that in fact it was his grandmother. Because at the bottom of it, again, obituaries tell you a lot.
Clearly.
It names who she used to cherish her memory. So it lists all the different family members. It lists brother in Philly. It lists Legion, no spouse, and then a brother in Nashville. Once again, it did not list the two sisters, Shantae and Kim. So I'm even more like, okay, clearly something, is up when it comes to Shantae and Kim. But what I do know is that he has talked to them multiple times in front of me. So I'm not sure what I'm missing.
Mans was talking to himself on the phone. That's what I think. I think he was pretending to have phone conversations,
So that is how I just
talking to himself.
That when he told me that grandmother died from COVID and he was crying, boo-hooing and all that shit,
He
she
lied.
actually had died in July of 2008. I found this out the same time that I found out about allegedly, and I say allegedly because I'll explain, allegedly the first wife, or at least what I think is the first wife. So while all this is going on, Legion is almost bedridden from what happened with his knee. And I need to take a moment to address this issue with the knee. Again, the story started, he hit his knee. Then it turned into, it was an old football injury. And this has happened before. He's going to the doctor. The doctor's telling him to ice it and to elevate it. He eventually moves into the guest bedroom to be more comfortable. I'm going to make this statement. This is probably the only time I will make this statement. He was not lying about the injury that he had. I don't know where the injury came from, but what I do know was he was not lying in the fact that he was in pain. You could clearly see that he was in pain, and the pain was becoming debilitating. Please understand what I'm saying. The pain was debilitating enough to where he was taking my pain meds from when I had the miscarriage. And then also, it was hard for him to walk. He was not eating. So this is what made me believe this, whatever was going on with the knee, there was more to it because he was not eating. When I met this man, he was a size 3X. At this point in time in May, he's down to a 2X. He is not exercising. He is not doing anything mobile. He's simply not eating. So there definitely was something going on, something concerning. Honestly, I thought it might have been cancer.
Damn.
But he kept
all them lies catching up to him. That's what it is.
From a football injury. I said to him, the next time you have a doctor's appointment, I want to.
This is Ressa Tessa on TikTok.
And
she has a 50-something part series about
I'll let you know what it
this
is.
man she married. It is crazy. You should, if you like this kind of stuff, you should check it out.
Whatever is going on with you is serious.
I'm just listening to it while I get ready.
Losing weight rapidly within a 2-week span.
I think it's the lies catching up to him because you can only lie so much before it comes back on your body.
We enter into June. I have verified, read the divorce documents for not one wife, but two wives. I have called San Diego State, verified they have no record of him. He claims he was a private citizen. I don't believe that. They're saying there's no record of him. I have pulled his background. It is showing that you've lived in Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Georgia. When I look at the
what do you want for your
addresses, it is
birthday?
tied to at least two women, both of whom I'm showing divorce records on file that you had. I've also verified that
Well, Tess can definitely help you
in
out.
2008 and 9 in 2020 from COVID. I know all
I had
of
to
this
sneeze.
as I'm going into June. His birthday is June 17th.
You better ask for something, even if it's just money.
All I've been doing is just trying to figure out what is it I'm going to do. I spoke to the pastor and his wife. I believe it was actually the pastor I spoke to because I knew the pastor previously before he did our marriage counseling. And I told him what I found. Mind blown. Mind blown.
I'll tell him that you want some options and he'll text
He
you.
knew that Legion was not really trying to make this marriage work. He had no
You'll be
idea
19, right?
this was going on. So he asked me, are you wanting to stay or do you want to end the marriage? I said, oh, absolutely, I'm ending it. Oh, hell yeah, I'm ending it.
We're ending the marriage.
I have to. I have to end it.
Wait, they gotta go
I
back.
have no idea.
Sorry, y'all, I gotta go back.
That doctor's appointment, because whatever is going on with you is serious to the point where you are losing weight rapidly within a 2-week span. So now we can go ahead and enter into June. When we enter into June, I have verified, read the divorce documents for not one wife, but two wives. I have called San Diego State, verified they have no record of him. He claims he was a private citizen. I don't believe that. They're saying there's no record of him. I have pulled his background. It is showing that you've lived in Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, and Georgia. When I look at the addresses, it is tied to at least two women, both of whom I'm showing divorce records on file that you had. I've also verified that your grandmother actually died in 2008 and 9 in 2020 from COVID. I know all of this as I'm going into June. His birthday is June 17th. So
he got the same birthday as my brother Joseph.
Trying to figure out
he a Gemini.
What is it I'm going to do? I spoke to the pastor and his wife. I believe it was actually the pastor I spoke to because I knew the pastor previously before he did our marriage counseling. And I told him what I found. Mind blown. Mind blown. Had no idea. He knew something was up. He knew that Legion was not really trying to make this marriage work. He had no idea all this was going on. So he asked me, are you wanting to stay?
Oh, was the pastor who asked you?
Okay. Absolutely, I'm ending it. Oh, hell yeah.
So you gotta go back, but he told her
I have to.
He did arena football, got all this money.
I have no idea.
He told her he played arena football, got all this money. It was during COVID. They moved in very quickly. He got her pregnant. She lost the baby. During her pregnancy, though, they became engaged, and then she lost the baby. He still wanted to be with her, and they got a house, or tried to get a house. But Mans was lying about all these fake offshore accounts and just lying about everything. And so every time they went to try to get this house, it would fall through because he really didn't have any money. And so now basically everything is coming out because you can only lie for so long. And so that's kind of what she's going through right now.
Yeah. Who that man is in my guest bedroom. Not to mention, on top of all of this, he had lied about the death of the ex-wife's daughter. Part 32.
Part 32. No, she needs to go over. Somebody needs to turn this into a show or something. I hope she's getting paid.
So, we're now in June. By this point in June, I have been offered the new job, accepted it, put in my 2 week.
Like, she needs to make this a podcast or something.
And was going to be starting the new job later on in the month. So when he left, where I told him I wanted to get a new job, that laughter fueled me to get a new job. So here's what happened at the beginning of June. At this point, he's completely bedridden. When I say completely bedridden, what I mean is, I'm trying to clarify this so it makes sense. No, for real, it sounds like a lifestyle movie. Or a Tyler Perry movie. But he's calling out a lot more. Okay? So he also lied and said he was the VP at his company, but he would only dress like a worker. So he's calling out like a labor worker. The pain is pretty bad. So he's hardly eating at this point. Hardly. For example, if I were to say, "Oh, I ordered a 10-piece wings," I was eating 2. That's all I would see him eat. I was going to work and coming home. The house was in the exact same place that it was when I left. Nothing in the kitchen had been moved. Nothing in the refrigerator had been moved, which led me to believe that he had not left the bed from the time I left to go to work until the time I came home. At this point in time, he's drinking Powerades like it's water. I mean, I'm buying cases of Powerades. And that seemed to be the only thing that he was taking in. So if he was a 3X when I met him, he's probably at a 1X, maybe a 2X, depending on the clothes. He's lost a lot of weight because he's not eating. So that's the reason why I say he wasn't. Powerade isn't even that good. I think the issue with his knee was a symptom. That was not some football injury. That was not, I hit it at work. It wasn't that. Something else was going on. I had kept asking him to, let me know when you have a doctor's appointment. I'm going to go with you. And he just kept saying the doctor. So he's calling the doctor, and the doctor told him to just keep icing the knee. But I knew better. What was happening was I didn't care. Oh, she didn't care. All the stuff I was finding out. Right, so I wouldn't care either. June, suffer. He is in the bed. Suffer. And I get his phone. I ain't gonna lie. I got his phone. He had a work phone and he had a personal phone. It was the work phone that he had from the condiment company that apparently was never turned in. Follow me. Oh, God. So he still had the work phone. It was deactivated. Of course it was. But he did not wipe the phone, if y'all know what I mean, take all the data off. He did not do that. He wasn't no damn VP. Phone. And I see this with the knocking at my door. Text messages between him and a woman named Peaches. I go back to the beginning of the text messages. This is on the work phone. This is the beginning of June of 2021. I go back to the text messages the beginning of the text messages between him and Peaches. Yes, that was not Peaches. Justin. Right, because he's not Justin. So not Peaches. Reading it. Oh my, in Georgia, no less. What I can tell is that he met Peaches on POF. If you don't know what POF is, it's Plenty of Fish, a dating website. Oh, I don't know. He met Peaches. I saw the. I thank God I never had an online date because February. The ghetto. Met Peaches from POF, and apparently Peaches was, there was a nice way to say it. Apparently he just was a prostitute. So the reason why I say that is because in the text messages, she's listing the prices. So
this
he
is
asked
crazy.
for a hand job. This is in the text messages. She told him it would be like $40. He asked how much would it be for oral.
No, for
She
real,
said,
Brandon.
It would be
$40 for a hand job? Is that expensive or cheap?
60 and 80. One was the price with the condom, one was the price without one. So no messages after that. She sent a picture.
Is $40 a lot for a hand job or cheap? I need to know.
These messages were not back to back every single day. There's breaks in between the messages. So like a message was in March, the next message is in April. Message in April, next message is like 2 weeks later. So
not a prostitute on the work phone.
He's asking her the prices. Next message I see would have been from a few weeks prior to the date of this. So this was the beginning of June. The message is from sometime beginning of May, where he is thanking
Justin, you're gonna have to keep watching it after my live.
Her, thank you so much. That was really great. I hope I can see you again.
Ew!
And there's messages where
Legion.
Basically, she was at a new spot. She must have moved. So he said, "Okay, I'm gonna come through. I'm gonna come see you." He's asking her to confirm the address. He was like, "Is it the house with the brown trash can with a white car in the front?"
No, see you again is wild.
He was actually in front of the house when his text.
See you again by Tyler, the Creator.
Again, he does whatever he does, and he sends her a message a few hours later saying, "Thank you. That was great." I'm reading all this.
Yo, if I ever caught my man doing any of this,
you may or may not understand. Some women may or may not understand it. The cheating didn't even faze me.
Yeah, after all those lies, I bet it did.
I did not.
This man's laughed about his dead grandma.
I was relieved. The reason why I was relieved is because up until this point, I kind of struggled a little bit on whether or not, God, I know, Lord, you hate divorce, but I can't stay with a guy that lies. So when I saw the cheating stuff, I was like, oh shoot, thank you, Jesus. Okay, because now I can get out of here. Heaven's gonna forget the fact that I'm a divorcing for infidelity. Go ahead, it's fine. Jesus will forgive me. So I was relieved, to be honest with you. Like, oh, okay. I got grounds now, bitch. That's how I felt. So, saw the messages, forwarded the messages to my phone. Or excuse me, I took screenshots. I had to take my phone because the phone was deactivated. So I kind of had to do a little ghetto. Hold the phone up, take my phone, and take pictures of what I see on the phone, so that I would have proof on my phone. Then I put the phone back and continued on. Now, in the next part is the day that he gets kicked out. And I will tell y'all what happened.
June 17th, JoJo's birthday.
June 17th, 2021. So, you guys have been on this ride. You now know exactly what information I did have. The morning of June 17th, which was his birthday.
We're almost out of
this.
this.
In the bed as usual. Powerade bottles all over the place because I wasn't in the mood to clean. And so I went in his room. He was awake. He was watching YouTube on his cell phone. He watched a lot of YouTube, watching these two guys that always were fixing.
She gonna kick him out on his birthday? Honestly, he deserves it. You cheated on me? Goodbye. Good riddance. I ain't doing nothing for your birthday. You cheat on me, you lie.
Anyway, so I go in there and I just calmly sit on the edge of the bed and I was like, "Can we talk?" He was like, "Yeah, what's up?"
How he gonna get out of this one? He can't.
I said to him, Legion. Obviously, I called him his name. Legion. I said, "I'm gonna ask you something. I just want you to be honest with me."
He ain't gonna be honest.
I can already see in his eyes he's about to get defensive. And I was like, because this is the tone I had. Calm. I said, you never went to San Diego State, did you? He rolls his eyes and he's like, I said, calm down. Watch your tone. I said, you never went to San Diego State. I said, you never lived in California, did you? He said, of course I lived in California. He's like, I fucking showed you the house I had in California.
You showed me a picture.
I told you about San Diego State. I was a private citizen. My dad paid for me to be a private citizen. And I said, okay.
Right.
So I called San Diego State. And he looked at me. His eyes were like empty. Like he wasn't shocked. He wasn't like, oh my God. He was just more like, okay. I said, they have no record of you. I said, they have no record because you never went. You never been to California. So at this point, I'm very calm. And I'm just stating, I said, you never been to California. I said, I bet you've only lived in Georgia, Pennsylvania, and Rhode Island. At this point, now there's a little emotion behind the eyes. And I said, I don't think that this is going to work. And he said, what, the marriage? He was like, so what you saying? You don't want to be married to me anymore? And I said, I don't want to be married to you anymore. I said, we need to go our separate ways. We tried. We need to go our separate ways. The way that I'm talking to you all is exactly how I was talking to him. And so he was like, that's not what marriage is. Marriage is, you have to fight for what you want. I said, I don't want this.
I don't want it.
I don't want to fight for it. I said, I don't want you, and I don't want this. And so he was like, I'm not giving up on the two of us. I said, you don't have a choice.
Ooh.
I said, I think that you should call your brother or your sister now.
You better call Tyrone.
And I think you need to get the fuck out of my house.
Oh! Get out on your birthday.
And he was like, I don't really have time for this. I don't feel well. I said, I don't care.
I don't give a flying flippity flop. You're getting out of here, buddy.
Yeah, the way I know y'all are going to be like, she's so dramatic. And in real, I am actually a very dramatic person.
We live for the dramatics.
The way that I'm talking to you guys on this video is exactly how I was talking to him in the beginning of how this started.
You better call somebody, right? It's time to get out of here. I'm still coughing on the flag.
Stay there.
Oh, I did a good job, huh?
Get out this house today. Basically, what happened was, at first,
see, y'all all into it. Y'all was talking crap about it, but now you're all into it.
And so he called his aunt, and his aunt was on speakerphone. Let me preface that. She was on speakerphone. And so she was like, what's going on? And he was like, my wife don't want me no more.
Oh.
She claimed that I be lying to her. I ain't never lied to her.
Sir, you lied. All you did was lie.
What's the analogy I can give y'all? When I heard him say to his aunt, I ain't never lied to her before, something in me snapped. The best analogy I can give you. Do y'all remember that movie Carrie? When she was at the prom and everyone was laughing at her. The blood had fallen down on her. And that was the moment where her eyes just went wild. And you knew something was about to happen. You just didn't
kill him.
But y'all had pushed him too far. And he said to his aunt, I ain't never lied to her. I snapped.
Kill him.
The calmness left. The amount of rage that was in me.
Female rage.
Member of the Kansas City Chiefs and beat every last one of their asses.
Ooh.
I could have fought every member on the Atlanta Falcons and beat every last one of their asses. I'm not a violent person, but I was there.
He took you there.
That statement, I ain't never lied to her, took me there. I went off.
And she should.
I went off. I went off so bad that first of all, every part of me was shaking. I called my mom. My mom was on speakerphone. And
let's do my makeup.
She's an artist.
To wear glasses.
My mom,
leave the Falcons out of this.
I was cussing like a sailor. My mom, put him on the phone. So I gave him the phone, and I'm standing there. And I'm looking around the room. It's the scene that I remember is the Angela Bassett scene in Waiting to Exhale, when her eyes are darting around the room right before she grabs everything to put it in the car to set it on fire. I was more so looking at what was going on. The lamp, the TV, the dresser.
Oh, she was ready to kill him.
While she was talking to him, my eyes were darting around the room. Because if he did not get his ass up and get his shit and get up out of my house, it was going to be bad. If I have never in my life been on TikTok and said if had it not been for the blood, y'all, I know this is gonna sound dramatic. I know this is gonna sound like, girl, you so funny. You don't understand.
No, I get it.
Had it not been for the Lord on my side, had it not been for the fact that I know I got a praying mother, I know I had a praying aunt, I know I've had a praying grandmother in heaven, because I'm telling you,
I had a praying grandmother.
Clearly saw what was getting ready to happen. Had he not gotten up, got his shit, and got out of my house. So I'm trying to calmly say this because I'm trying to calmly tell this story because the rage had taken over me. The pure, unadulterated rage
I love
that I felt when he said to his aunt, I ain't never lied to her, after I had discovered only 2% of the lies at that point. Just 2%. So it was enough for
Damn,
me.
there's gonna be more lies. I mean, I guess it makes sense.
So my mother gets on the phone and she says to him, Legion, she called me by name. She said, I am not there to control my daughter. She said, in the name of Jesus, get your stuff and get out of that house.
Get your ass out of here.
Kill you. Get out of the house.
Get out.
She's on my phone. His aunt is on his phone. His aunt said, nephew, come home. Home for her was Philly. She said, I'll send you money. Come home. Leave that house right now. She said, because I think that woman is about to kill you. Let's go. Let's just go to part 34. Let's all just take a deep breath. Part 34.
I needed
Did I marry? So the aunt told him, I'll send you money, come home. And I'm yelling in the background, by the way. I'm not standing there calmly. I'm yelling. I said, oh, he got money. Yeah, you got money. You got money in that offshore account. You got money to drive. So do what you got to do. I told him, and I'm not going to repeat some of the stuff I said because my mom may see this TikTok. But I did tell him, I was like, if you don't get out of this house, actually what I said was, you have two options. You're either going to leave this house voluntarily or you're going to leave this house involuntarily. And he tried to get a little nook if you buck. He tried. And that's when he was still on the bed, still laying in the bed. He was just like, you ain't going to do shit. Like, don't talk to me like you done lost your fucking mind. Da, da, da. And I calmly got close to him. I got like this close. And I literally said, I will beat you like the bitch you are.
I can't get
dare you to try me.
I can't get it in my eye.
I said, I will literally beat you like the male bitch you are. And so when I said that, his eyes were like, I said, I'm not even playing. Because at this point,
you better believe her.
I'm rocking like back and forth. Y'all, again, I'm not some hardened type chick. I'm not. I want the soft lifestyle. But I have been pushed to the point. So I'm rocking, I'm walking back, I'm pacing. So finally, his aunt was able to get through to him. I had called my aunt, my mother, my aunt. I had called the pastor. I had called all these people because I did know that I was in a very dangerous place. Not because I'm scared of him. At this point, I was scared of me. I don't know if this has ever happened to someone where you know your own, you know yourself. You know that you got a line. I was over that line.
Everybody got a line.
So I had enough wherewithal to be like, okay.
When a woman's fed up.
You probably gonna go to jail today. You probably gonna go to jail. You probably gonna have that job in the morning. Like I was there.
When a woman's fed up.
And again, this is not to sound bragging at all. This was a woman who I could not believe that even with the attempt of me trying to give him one last opportunity to tell me the truth, he still lied in my face. I was at my edge.
Why would you lie?
I yanked the covers back, and I told him, I was like, get up, get the fuck out of my house. Again, I'm saying it calmly on here. There was nothing calm in the house when this happened. So I'm throwing stuff up against the wall. I remember I looked at the lamp.
Don't tear your own stuff up
now. He looked at me looking at the lamp. And I think something in him realized, okay.
That's when I realized.
Yeah, I'm in pain, but if I don't get up, she's going to do something with that lamp. So he does get up. He is still on the phone with the aunt because the aunt was pretty much like,
but I had a praying grandmother.
She did not want him to hang up. He throws some stuff together. Again, keep in mind, he has all his stuff in the house. So he basically packed like 2 bags worth of clothes. And he's limping around, and I'm standing in the hallway watching him like a probation officer. So he's limping
Not
around.
Not a probation officer. She was funny.
And I'm looking at the condition of the bedroom. This is when I noticed Legion had been semi-bedridden. Remember I told y'all that because the knee and other stuff. I look at these bottles of Powerade because he had been drinking Powerade so much at this point. He was not getting up to go to the bathroom. He was drinking the Powerade.
Oh,
and
no.
Using the empty bottles to pee in.
Y'all, I actually dated somebody who did that. Not Powerade bottles.
Was about 6 bottles.
But like jugs of water. They wouldn't go to the bathroom. They would use that.
Because again, I hadn't really been going in that room.
That was a dark time for
me. CIA, FBI, and Homeland Security for the past 2 weeks. So I was like, what is this? He was like, I'm going to throw it out. He grabbed the trash bag, put the bottles in there.
That's disgusting.
Those bottles. I said, tell me. And I think I started like twitching. Like, tell me.
That would have sent me over the edge.
That is not piss in those bottles.
That would have sent me over the edge. No, I literally dated somebody who did that.
I was in too much pain. So at this point, I'm even more like, yeah, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Time to go. It's time to go.
Get out of my house. So I helped him. While he was packing his bags, I went downstairs. I took the house key off of his keys.
Yeah, you ain't getting back in here, boy.
I went back upstairs. He had his 2 bags. I grabbed the 2 bags. Yes, I did. I grabbed the 2 bags. I had opened up the garage. I had already popped the trunk for his car and threw the bags in the car. I did that because I was like, you getting out of this house. You getting out of this house today. You can't come back. You can't come back ever. So it took him about,
that's just disgusting.
2 hours from the time of I will beat you like the bitch you are for him to actually leave the house. Again, I'm calm telling y'all this story. It was not calm in the house.
Oh, girl, we know.
So he eventually puts on some sweatpants. Now I can really see how much weight he's lost. But he puts on some sweatpants. He puts on a shirt. He's limping down. He's like, "You really gonna kick me out on my birthday?"
Yeah. You really gonna lie to me every single day of our marriage?
Just looked at him.
Since you met me? Yeah.
Just looked at him.
I don't give up about your birthday, boy.
Opened the door. He went through the garage, got
You
into
better be
his
glad I'm
car, called it.
calling
You know,
the
his
police
aunt
on
was
you.
still on the phone. She was like, "I'm gonna send you some money," and that's the part I was like, clearly he has the money. Like, you ain't got to send him money. He doesn't even have to go to Philly. He can just go get a hotel for now. I don't care what he does. He just got to leave his house. So he ends up getting in the car, driving off. My mom calls and she's just like, is he still there? I said no. I had not told her what all he had lied about. Even in the midst of me being angry and me going off, I never told him that I spoke to the ex-wife. I never told him I knew he was lying about the stepdaughter, because then he would have asked how, what makes you say that? So I did keep my word. I never told him I spoke to her. So he eventually left. I text a friend of mine. I text my landlord. I said, I have an emergency. I need to know if it is okay to get the locks changed. Landlord was like, that's fine. My landlord was super cool. Shout out to Mr. Patel.
Shout out Mr. Patel.
I went to Home Depot, bought brand new locks, text a friend of mine, asked him, when you get off work, can you please come by my house? I need the locks changed today. So he was like, okay, what's going on? I said, I'll explain it later. So to give you a timeline of June 17th, when I asked him about San Diego State and I told him that I know you've never even been to California, that was about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. By the time he left the house, it was maybe going on noon, 1 o'clock. So this happened pretty quickly. If you're wondering, why did you even ask him? I already knew that I wanted out. I knew that. But for some reason, a part of me was like, let's just see if he'll be honest just one last time.
He's never been honest.
And he wasn't. And it sent me into a rage. And then he lied to his aunt, saying, I ain't never lied to her. And that sent me over the edge. So by 1 o'clock, by 1:30, he was gone. By 2:30,
I had
done a pretty good job of cleaning up the bedroom. He had thrown away the Powerade bottles.
I think I'm going to get my hair cut.
So I didn't have to touch those. I stripped the sheets. Anything that he touched in that bedroom, I stripped the sheets, threw them in the trash bag, threw them out in the trash can. And so most of this was adrenaline. Adrenaline was pushed because I hate packing. I hate doing all that stuff. I went on Amazon. I ordered oversized, large tote bags because I was packing up all his shit. Part 35.
All right, I'm going to end it right here.
So
that was a wild ride. Let me talk about y'all. That was a wild ride, but I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for joining the live, hopping on. I'm about to go to my degree class, and I will see y'all later. Bye.